Hey guys, I wanted to share with you the fastest leveling strategy in Diablo 4 for Season 14. This is an optimized speed leveling strategy that focuses on getting the 2 Helltide Warplan points in order to enable the Wyrm maggot experience. I will also go over how to manage the threat meter in order to get as many worms as possible throughout the Helltide. I have tested this leveling strategy on every class as well as on the latest PTR. And you can also check out the speedruns which are available on my channel with links also in the description below. Let's dive right into the step-by-step breakdown. Make sure you are starting with the endgame campaign state. Now you have two options: start on normal difficulty and go straight to the Helltide, or you can start on hard difficulty, go to the PvP zone and level there to about level 7, and then go to Helltide on normal. Whichever option you choose, the rest of the leveling loop is pretty much the same. Once you have chosen one of these two options, teleport to Themis, talk to Duriel, and unlock the Warplans, and check which 2 Warplans you got at the Warplan table. This will start our phase 1 loop. Now here's the first tip. You're looking for a specific start. As you check your Warplan table, you want to find the 2 Helltide Warplan, meaning that both of the Warplans will have to be a Helltide. If you don't get it right away, don't waste time, log out, delete, recreate the character, and try again until you hit that 2 Helltide Warplan. This means that having the first Warplan be a 2 Helltide Warplan will net us about 25% of the experience we need if we open the Helltide chests on Penitnent. Once you have the 2 Helltide Warplan, go and pick up your mercenaries in Themis. My personal preference is running Subo and Altgen for the map hack as well as the crowd control and the damage reduction they provide. Finally, make sure you have your pet equipped for the auto pickup. And at this point, we want to either start in the Helltide on normal or in the PvP zone on hard. Whichever option you choose, you want to always start the Helltide on normal, as the goal here is to farm cinders, is to fill your threat meter, and it's to not die at all. As we are farming the cinders with our low level character, we want to fill up our threat meter completely, exhaust it, and kill all the monsters that it spawns, except for the Hellborn. This will net us about 450 cinders, and we should be about level 12. Remember that as you level, make sure to be replacing your gear with anything that is dropping, because we will be going through gear quick and nothing really is permanent until we're level 70 and in Torment. Here's a rough estimate of the minimum amount of toughness you should have as you level. 2 critical warnings in this early phase. First, avoid the spawning worms and the monsters they spawn, because at this low level they can one-shot you even on normal. Second, avoid the Hellborn. There's no need to kill it as the reward is not worth the time and effort. Once you have your initial pool of cinders, meaning the 450 cinders we gathered at the beginning, and we drained our first threat meter, and your threat meter should be about 0 at this moment, we want to change the difficulty to Penitent, run over to 2 Helltide chests, open them. Our goal is just opening the chests and going back to Themis. The idea is do not try to fight monsters on Penitent at this moment. If you are surrounded by monsters, just run away, find another chest, reset, and don't die. Just get the objective completed for the Warplan. So once we have completed our first Warplan, we want to teleport back to Themis, hand in the Warplan to Duriel, and at this point we will be level 12 or higher, and as we complete the Warplan, it should boost us to about level 15. And at this point, we want to pick our class ability, spend the extra few skill points we gained for more damage, defense, or utility, and we want to pick our second Warplan. At this stage, we want to max the efficiency of getting as many Helltide nodes as possible. As you pick your second Warplan, you are still looking for maximum efficiency, so we want to get as many Helltide nodes in the Warplan as possible. The idea here is to have at least 1 or 2 Helltide Warplans. Now at this stage, most likely, in most cases, you will have to do an Undercity, a Nightmare Dungeon, or a Pit. I always do these on normal difficulty because the idea is to get through these as fast as possible, get to the objective, just rush it in order to complete the Warplan so that we can roll the next Warplan to get the Helltide points so that we can get to the maggot farming as fast as possible. You want to continue this loop of doing the Warplans until you get the 8 Helltide Warplan nodes completed, as this will give us enough experience to get 2 points in our Helltide Warplans, which will enable the Wyrm maggot farming method. This will start our phase 2 loop. At this stage, you want to be farming in Expert or Penitent. I usually do Penitent because I'm comfortable with that, but the idea is make sure that number one thing is you do not want to die. So dying is not an option. You want to have your threat meter filled up 2/3 of the way so that you get the highest probability of spawning worms in the Helltide. You can actually do this on normal, then switch to Penitent, and then just ride around with your horse until you spawn the worms. Try to avoid the initial unburrowing of the worm and just ride around, just make sure you are safe, and also watch out for the Pang of Duriel, which also unburrows a bit after the spawn of the worm, because the Pang of Duriel can also one-shot you. Once your threat meter drains while farming maggots, focus on getting the meter back up to 2/3 once again. If you have cinders, you can open chests in the Helltide to quickly build up your threat meter. If you don't have cinders, focus on killing champions and elites, as well as doing the seasonal content such as rifts. It's best to do this on a lower difficulty like hard to maximize the speed and minimize the chance of dying. So at this stage, you will be flying through the levels, and I would advise that you make pit stops often in town at level 40, 50, and 60. Use these specific leveling milestones to check vendors for upgrades, upgrade your weapon, upgrade your armor, upgrade your jewelry. Don't bother with tempering at this stage until you're level 60 or 70, because you will out-level the items really fast, and it's just a waste of time and materials. Always prioritize your weapon, then affixes such as life and armor on items, because staying alive at this point is critical. If you follow this leveling strategy, you should be blasting through the first 70 levels really fast, and you should realistically achieve level 70 in under 2 hours, or even under 90 minutes. Remember to drop a comment below if this strategy worked for you and your build, and also hit the subscribe button for more Diablo 4 content.